Hey Alex,
Hey Ted, what's up?
let me tell you all about PAX West.
I hate myself. Oh, I hate myself. I hate myself. Oh, I hate myself.
Alright, so Penny Arcade Expo, PAX West, PAX East, PAX South, PAX Aus, that's the Australia one, and then PAX Dev, or Dev PAX, I'm not sure how they do it. So PAX is the biggest, I think it's the biggest video game convention in North America. And it went from...
Wouldn't E3 be the biggest one, dumbass?
Oh, I'm sorry, Alex. Do you have a media badge? No, you don't, so you can't get the fuck into E3. I went with my older brother, Zach. And the reason we went to PAX was because he couldn't get into E3. He was like, alright, fuck these people. We're going to PAX.
Fuck these dudes. These dudes can suck me, dude.
Exactly. That's what I said to them, and then they just told me to get out because I was being offensive. It was like the middle of June, and I get a text from my brother like, oh shit, they're selling tickets. And so you had to like get into a virtual line because they announced it on Twitter, the PAX Twitter, and we both got into the line. I got kicked out of the line 3 times, and I don't know why. But Zach got in and he bought 3 tickets because he's a dirty little memer.
He's a dirty little memer.
And then I gave him it was like $180 for all 4 days. It was about $45 a day.
That's not so bad.
Yeah, it was the plane ride out there and the hotel that ended up costing a lot.
Yeah,
or
that's how that
Airbnb, because we ended up staying in like the downstairs of this older couple's house, and it was way too nice. Way too nice, Alex. There was a heat lamp in the bathroom. I was like a hot dog at Circle K. But we were looking around for like an airline that didn't cost literally $700. We ended up I saw oh, okay, look at this one. This one's only it's only $300. Sure, the times are pretty ass because we're leaving from O'Hare at 11 and arriving back in Chicago at like 5 a.m. But yeah, let's take it. Horrible decision. Horrible, terrible decision. If you've ever heard of Frontier Airlines, lad, it's pretty bad. It ended up costing just as much as if I went on fucking Southwest or an actual airline.
Or an actual airline, like Delta.
They didn't give me peanuts, a soda. The seats were basically like cardboard. And we were on that flight for 4 hours, and 3.5 hours back.
Yo, when I fucking flew back from... not Chicago, but the other Miku Expo that I did. Fucking Delta Airline had these little, TV screens on the back of the seats, right? And they fucking did this safety precaution video full of internet memes.
Oh, man. See, when I went to visit you, I think I took Southwest, and I was able to watch, Minions 2 or something. And I'm like, oh, this is still in theaters. I do not care. And I played Phoenix Wright for 6 hours.
What's worse, watching Minions 2 or the cardboard seats with no soda?
On the flight back, it was a red eye. And it smelled like tacos. It was awful. We went up there, my brother, we drove up there, and then we got on the flight, we parked in some place. I had Rhythm Heaven, but I forgot to bring earbuds, so I had to play Silent Rhythm Heaven.
Well, you're not man enough to crank that shit up on the bus?
No, I'm not gonna crank the Diva Girls singing Love You, Love You, Love You, I suppose. I'm not gonna blast that at a fucking airline. I'll get arrested. The TSA will spear tackle me. Anyway, so we get to Seattle. We get to the Airbnb, and it's super nice. I slept on the couch the entire time because there's only one bed, and they left a whole bunch of healthy shit.
Healthy shit? How dare they?
And we ended up eating a Domino's. It's just garbage the entire time we were there. They had mojitos in the fridge. I don't know if those were for us or not, but I drank 2 of them. So anyway, so we get to the convention center, and it's split up between 4 hotels and then the Washington State Convention Center. And we get there, it's oh cool, doors open at 10. We're gonna get there at 9:30. it's not open yet, guys, and you can't stay inside the building. And I'm like, oh shit, well, what are we supposed to do? And they're like, yeah, you can go all the way back downstairs because I guess we accidentally snuck in through a side entrance. Because I'm like, man, it's really empty in here.
It's really empty here.
I think we snuck in and we weren't supposed to go in that way.
It reminds me of when me and Alva were at Evo. We were in line, like to get like with the doors to open. The doors opened and everyone just poured fucking in, and whatever semblance of a line no longer existed.
Like it's like that Simpsons episode where there's all the puffballs trying to get through the door.
No, like okay, so like there was a line, Tad, and the line like stretched to the side into a hallway, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the joke's on those people who are following the rules and going to the sideline, because those fuckers got in last. All those people who were at the end, aka shoved up against the door, got in first. Like me, baby. We all got in trouble the next day, don't worry.
You got in trouble? How?
They just said, please don't do that again. Please just enter the door like a normal person. We're like, okay. No, but there's one more thing, and I had to add it because I've already talked about Evo. One quick thing. There's a big sign. During one of the fights, I think it was fucking Mortal Kombat. I'm like, man, I'm fucking hungry. Hey, Alba, want some pizza? And he's like, sure, there's a Pizza Hut thing, but just I don't like sauce. Get like me like no sauce. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I know you like cardboard. I'll go get you some cardboard with cheese on it. BRB. So I go to Pizza Hut. I fucking wait in line with the 20 other fucking young people who are definitely there for Evo, because you can tell who's there for Evo. It's either the 20-year-olds, the 60-year-olds are for gambling, and the Elvises are for the Elvis thing.
The Elvises.
Yeah, they were just Elvises.
The Elvi.
There
That's
are
the
Elvises
plural.
hanging around the fucking casino or hotel. So then I get the pizzas, I walk back, there's a sign right outside the door that says, no outside food allowed. I look at the sign, look at the guard, he looks at me, I look back at the sign, look back at him, and I walk through the door.
The madman.
Lock up, throw away the key.
You're like Jared Leto's the Joker.
It was like a sane asylum in there, man. He asked for sugar in his coffee, and I put in salt.
Anyway, so I'm wearing a costume. I went, me and my friend John put together a Night of Doom costume.
Aren't you cool?
The fucking hey, you want to know? It worked in my favor. Because I went outside and we had to stay in line. And it's Seattle, so it's raining 99.9% of the time, extremely heavily. And so I go out there, I'm like, oh, cool. We didn't bring an umbrella. And so I just look at Zach, flip my hood up, and just cross my arms like a badass. I got soaked anyway. It didn't mean anything.
Hey, it was just like Miku.
My cape got so, like, soaked that it actually popped the seam. Because, like, I had, like, the 3 chest pieces that were like a rook. You know, like the top of a rook and chest.
Uh-huh.
There's 3 of those. We sewed them down so that the cape wouldn't, like... Because it's, like, the shirt, an undershirt, and then sweatpants. And then it had the cowl, the hood, and the cape were all one piece. And it would be, like, the cape was too heavy, it would pull back and choke me a bit. So we had to sew it down. And then the cape got so heavy, it just fucking popped 2 of those things off, so it was just barely hanging on.
Oh, damn.
I mean, it was fine. We only needed the one seam. But... And so we go in there after waiting outside for 30 minutes. And the first thing we do, I'm like, oh, hey, H1N1. I've heard this game's pretty terrible. Or H1Z1.
I don't know.
And I'm like, Zach, hold on. We're not going to Sony yet. I gotta spin this wheel. And I spun it, and or he spun it, and he won like a pig mask. I don't know what that was about. And then I spun it, and I won a Twitch bag. And on the back of his backpack that Zach brought, we hooked on the Donald Trump hat with the sticker PAX right over America. So it says "Make Paxica Great Again."
Paxica.
And we like take a picture with the people there. Like I hold a crown up in my hand and like I pose all heroically and shit. And this guy's like, so you guys are a Trump supporter? And I just slowly turn around. I'm like, yes I am. And he starts talking to us about how if we were here for the Trump rally yesterday. I'm just like, I had the most neutral expression I could imagine. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. If I would have known that, I would have showed up a little bit earlier. Could you please elaborate on how this Trump rally went? And he keeps telling me, I'm like, as we're about to leave after like 5 minutes, I'm like, yeah, well, build that wall, man. Build the wall. And he got really like, he just face like sour. He's like, you know, there's more to Trump than just building the wall, right? And I'm like, you got it, man. See you later. So we went into the 4th floor of the convention center, and there's like There's like Pokemon Sun and Moon, which is fucking packed with man children.
Packed with men. So you were right at home.
No, see, that booth sucked. There was nothing. It's like, hey guys, here's 10 3DSs. That's Pokemon, I guess. Okay, that's it. See ya. This place is fucking packed. There was a poster that was like immediately gone, and I stole it from some nerd in the Dishonored 2 line.
What? You're awful.
You snooze, you lose. You nappa, you get slappa.
Around you. Bad news.
But then we went to, and this kind of surprised me, THQ Nordic. Because THQ was closed. Remember that? There was a whole thing, like they had to give away a whole bunch of shit. We went over there, it was like THQ Nordic Games. And they're like, I'm like, whoa, hey, what's this? And they had some game called Alex, which was like a... I'm glad that they had a huge stamp that said, like, early pre-alpha build, because it played like dog shit.
Fucking... So many things are just pre-alpha shits nowadays. What's the point? Remember when games were finished?
But yeah, like, we played that for a while, and I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. Then he gives us, like, this really nice bag, like, a lanyard for our, because, like, the free lanyard they gave you was, like, a really shitty Mafia 3 one. He's like, here's this sweet-ass lanyard that can hold all of your badges at once. Also, here's a shirt. Also, here's another shirt. Also, here's a card game. Also, here's a free copy of Lead and Gold on Steam. And I'm like, oh,
Lead
shit.
and Gold, woo. You can give that one back to the guy.
Or then we're like, oh, cool. All right, let's kind of... There was like a big PAX Arena stage where they had people play Gears. There were,
Nice.
and I counted, 46 Gears of War 4 kiosks.
But meanwhile, Pokemon, one of the biggest games ever, gets 10 little 3DSs.
Actually, there was 5 Pokemons. There's 5, and the other 5 were Yokai Watch 2, which is just Pokemon.
Hey man, it's the Pokemon killer.
Right next to, like, I guess it's not. I don't know if it plays any different if Nintendo put it right next to Pokemon.
Maybe they're just like, yeah, okay, watch, you stand a chance, don't you, cuckolds?
Yeah, but after that, we played one of my favorite things at the convention, which was way in the back corner. There was like an indie booth, and there was Alice VR, and I'm like, oh hell yeah, gives me that.
Gives me that.
And I sit down on the thing. Well, I adjust my cape as I sit down on the stool, and I put on like an Oculus Rift, and it's like a walking simulator. You just walk forward, and then I turn by moving left and right, and it's like a first-person like exploration game.
Yeah,
I'm like,
but
oh,
they
this
all
is
are.
cool. Like, I walk over, and I'm like, oh, hey, there's an apple over here. And I get up, like, without thinking, I just stand up over, like, the fucking stool and lean over to my left to look underneath the railing. And then I stop, and I'm like, that was cool as shit. Hold on. And I just keep doing that, looking over the fucking railings. And I'm, like, walking. I'm, like, going up walls and shit. And it's really cool. And then it starts getting all foggy. I'm like, oh, man, that must be an artistic decision. And then after about a minute, I'm like, wait a second. I think it's just my glasses fogging up. I don't want to take this off because then they're going to assume I'm done playing. What can I do? And so I'm just like playing the game because there's a screen that shows what I'm looking at, and they just they see me look up so that I can look out of the bottom of my glasses, which are not fogged, so I can keep playing the game. Then I eventually get up and I let Zach try it out because he went over to check out Xenoverse 2.
Fuck yeah,
which was really cool. I played that, and oh man, it's fun. But he tries it, and he after 10 seconds, he takes off. He's like, I feel I'm gonna fucking throw up.
I wanted to try to 100% Xenoverse 1 before, get all the achievements on it before the Xenoverse 2 comes out. But they're just so boring because it's just max out the trainers, which is just grinding.
But we played Xenoverse 2, and I don't know if this is in Xenoverse 1, but there's like a stamina gauge, and it takes one little chunk to teleport. And I don't know if it was intentional. I was playing Goku, and I had a really high stamina, so we just go nothing person, nothing person. We would just teleport behind each other 8 fucking times in a row.
Too slow. You're too slow. He's fast. Nani?
Nani? But that was pretty cool, and I picked up Dark Souls 3 for $35. They had a bunch of really cool shirts at the Bandai Namco booth. I think they had 2 Xenoverse things and then a JoJo thing. Mm-hmm. And I didn't play JoJo because I'm not a fucking nerd.
Wow, my feelings.
But then we played a game called Drop Zone, which we just hopped the line for because we were just like, oh hey, look, there's 17 people. Let me just go underneath this thing and just sit at these computers. And it was like a MOBA or an ass faggots Aeon of Strife styled Fortress Assault game going on two sides.
I can remember I said.
You play as the tank, support, and healer. You have 3 different units, and it plays, like an RTS more. And you have to like go and kill aliens, get the power cores, drop them off in the middle of the map while, micromanaging your 3 dudes. It was alright. I got like 3 beta passes. So
Nice.
there was a game called Earthfall, which it was just Left 4 Dead, but with aliens, with the same frame rate as Left 4 Dead, at like a silky smooth 22.
Well, don't worry. There's the other Left 4 Dead game coming out, Metal Gear fucking Zombies. Metal
But
Gear
then we had
whatever
our
the fuck
first,
it's called.
Metal Gear Solid 5. Fuck you. But we had our first panel then. We had South Park: The Fractured Butthole. And we go there and there's like a super long line. And then one of the 2 people at the entire convention recognized what my costume was. It was a 450-pound man with a My Little Pony bag.
How does it feel? I mean, to be fair, you dressed as a fucking cartoon character in a fucking video game convention, you idiot.
True, but also, fuck you. Anyway, but they showed off a bunch of gameplay stuff. They talked about like, like now you get to choose your like class or whatever. And then as you go through the game, you're eventually like a cartman will break down and be like, okay, fine, you can multi-class. And you can go from like a speedster to whatever. He'll remove restrictions and add new rules as you play and shit. And they said that there was over 400 different fart sound effects, and they had like an entire system based on like what kind of fart sound effect would play. Because when you farted, you get to use the 2 control sticks, and they would be your butt cheeks. You can spread them wide, squeeze them real tight, and move them up and down. This was like 30 minutes of the 45-minute panel, Alex. And then at the booth, the Ubisoft booth, they had a joke when they first showed the trailer of like an Oculus Rift, but you can smell.
But you can
And then Ubisoft, the madmen, made it a real thing. So if you went and you played it at the Ubisoft booth, they would give you an Oculus Rift that would like let you smell what was in the game.
So could you
using
smell
scent
the 40
packets.
different fart sounds from Fractured Butthole?
Yes. World of Tanks had a thing down the street. And it was like a whole bunch of tanks that would like run over shit. And I think they had like a monster booth. And we stole, I think, 10 monsters from them.
Why?
So we just walk by and just be like, yoink! This is my lemonade-flavored monster now.
Why would you put that in your body?
Because, Alex, it's PAX, baby. They had $8 energy drink there called PAX Crack. 8 didgeridoos.
$8 I paid for a slice of pizza that was $10. I could buy a whole tombstone for like $4. Fuck you, airport.
They had like goofy video game themed restaurants there. Like they had Mark and Luke's Pizza Jam. And I almost bought a pizza from there. It was $10, but fuck, that's a good name. There was like
there a
Uncooked
maid
4.
cafe?
No, Alex, there was Uncooked 4, a pita sandwich's end.
That's not funny.
And then there was also Battlehorn.
Was that Battleborn related?
Yeah, it's Battleborn. It was just like food in like a conical shape. It was weird. I didn't want to touch it.
You should have asked for the Overwatch omelet.
They had like all the like gamer gear setups had like Overwatch playing. Not a single one had Battleborn.
I like how you trash talk gamer gear when you dress as a fucking Homestuck character, you loser.
Hey, shut up. I only did that on Friday and Saturday. So on Friday we're like, all right, let's go to the Sony booth.
I'm just these fucking losers over here, and you sip your stolen monster drink.
I'm damaged. So the Sony booth is like, oh cool, they have like 6 different VR setups and then a giant block which doesn't seem to have an entrance. And we just thought it was Sony waving their dick around like, hey guys, look, we can afford to just totally waste space like this.
We can just put a giant
look at
paperweight.
Verizon. Look at Horizon Zero Dawn. And so you come up there and like, yeah, you need to sign up with this separate app that you cannot download because Wi-Fi does not work here because there are 14,000 people using it. So we're like, all right then, you fucks. So then I went to Israel, aka We Love Fine's booth, and Penny Arcade has this thing where like people can sign up to be pin dealers, and like, hey guys, here's a balloonicorn pin, and you know you get those, you collect them, you trade them with people. It was $15. They were selling the pin for 15 didgeridoos.
I got a bundle of Skullgirls pins for 10 at Evo.
Oh, the Skullgirls people were there.
Oh fuck yeah, dude! They showing off their new game, Indivisible.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were. No, they didn't show off Divisible, but they showed off. Or maybe it was just the publisher, because it was Skullgirls, and I think it was Starbound.
It was Lab Zero Games is the developers of Skullgirls.
Yeah, but they had Zach bought Starbound pins that were $22.
Man, I got a poster for $10 and the pins for $10 of Skullgirls. I got this kick-ass peacock poster that's over there because I play her.
Yeah, I didn't buy like any real merch because I'm like, oh hey, look, this is incredibly expensive. I'll just buy this off Amazon. Like the fan gamer had a Papyrus statue. They had like a box set with like Papyrus, Sans, Frisk, Toriel, and something else. I'm like, oh cool, how much is Papyrus? Yeah, he's $17. I just immediately turned around and walked away. But We Love Fine. I go up there. I'm like, oh, cool. Oh, hey, you guys have TF2 backpack or TF2 bags like THQ Nordic gave us for free. Can I have one of those? Yeah, $25 minimum purchase.
Plus tip.
And like, I'm like looking at their selection, and they have like one TF2 shirt, like they have a Terezi shirt, and then another Terezi shirt, and then a really shitty Dirk one.
I think you mean Tumblr from Homestuck.
Exactly. And then they had like the dragon plushes and like a shitty wallet. And then everything else was Steven Universe.
Fuck yeah, my dude. You should have got me something.
No. Oh, I went to the Blizzard thing. Want to guess what was there? From all of Blizzard's amazing IPs? It was just fucking Legion.
Well, yeah, that was coming out.
Let me go to Penny Arcade Expo West 2016 to play a fucking MMO that came out 4 days ago. Yeah, let me do that. Let me get right on that. I definitely don't want to play Overwatch or get any Overwatch loot boxes or anything. Or, you know, even Heroes of the Storm or Hearthstone booster packs. No, fuck you. I want to play this MMO. With like you couldn't even log into it. Was just, oh man, let me check out the beginning 5 minutes of this expansion pack. Cool, wow, gee whiz, thanks Blizzard, fuck you.
Did they give out anything though?
They gave out a pin that they had 200 of that they ran out by about 10 minutes into the show every single day.
Did they fucking like have anything to buy?
Nope.
So you couldn't buy that $130 bathrobe with the fucking hood?
No.
The fucking warlock.
I think you mean the Pussy Slayer.
Sup, babe? Let me just slip into something more comfortable. I fucking rated Mythic Archimon transmogged like this.
Weta Workshop was there, and they had some of the models that they use in the Warcraft movie, like the 3D models there. And like they had Orgrim Doom. They had like the Doom Hammer, like a replica full size model of it for like 125 or something.
Fuck yeah!
And they had like a whole bunch of cool shit. They had a lot of BattleTech stuff, like robots and everything. But at about 6 o'clock was the EVE Online History Lecture, and I went in with thinking like, I was like, oh man, this will be really cool. And Zach's like, nah, man, I ain't into that nerd shit. And I'm gonna go do something else. I'm gonna go eat a burrito. And so I get into the EVE line, and there was a dude next to me. I'm like, oh, cool, where'd you get that PS4? He's like, yeah, I went down to the Sony thing and said, man, I wish I had a PS4, and they gave me one.
The madman.
So, like, the EVE Online History Lecture was fucking sick. Oh my god, I didn't expect it to be so cool. It was like an intro thing where it's like, okay, guys, this is 2006. EVE's like 3 years old. Two main factions. Band of Brothers, led by a fascist dick lord named Sir Mole. And then the Goon Swarm, which is just a bunch of fucking memers. Their slogan was, we will clog their guns with our corpses.
Okay.
And that was legitimately their strategy, because they would send thousands and thousands and thousands of people in here to the point where the enemy's guns could not aim and take people out because it was such a mess. Like in RuneScape and the Fist of Guthix, the strategy to survive that minigame was to step in the same square as a bunch of other people so they couldn't right-click and find your name fast enough. But that was really cool. And then this lady came by dressed as the Scout from TF2, and she was giving out free cookies for like the Child's Play charity and all that. And then Zach missed her by 5 minutes. And then we went to the PAX 10 panel where everyone submits their games. And it's like, hey, here's 10 games that we think aren't dog shit. And then like they answered questions and all that. Most of their questions most of the good answers were like, yeah, get started when you're like 6 years old and have a secondary source of income to sustain you.
Oh yeah, dude.
Thanks. But that was Friday. Saturday, we spent most of it at the Reese's Puff Pit. We heard something about swag bags in one of the hotels. And we go there and we get one of these bags and we're like, oh, cool. Oh, it's literally nothing. It's 20% off Deponia. The rest is like ads for Amazon and other shitty indie games. Like, oh boy, 10% off. Oh boy. So I literally got that and put it in the garbage. But I kept they gave us like these really cool bags that you could wear like a backpack, and they had like Amazon, and they had Tycho with like a VR headset on it and stuff. And we were like, oh hey, what's this Reese's Puff thing? And what it was like this big line. It wasn't even that big of a line really, but we were there for almost 4 hours. We were there from like, I don't know, 10 to like 1:30. And it was like, you would get a shirt, Team Peanut Butter or Team Chocolate, and you get a cape, and you get a helmet. And they'd send you up there, and they'd be like, all right, what's your name? Where are you from? And then you would go inside the ball pit that was like 5 feet deep and very, very heavy and hard to move in. And you would have to search for a clear ball, hand it to the person up there, swap it for an Xbox One controller, and score a goal in Rocket League to win your prize. And there was a lot of really good, like the shittiest prize was like a gaming backpack or a $10 GameStop card. But there was tons and tons and tons of PS4 and Xbox controllers, PlayStation 4s, Xbox Ones, PAX 2017 passes, like gaming keyboards and shit like that. Mm-hmm. So we're up there, we're throwing shit into the pit and all that, like when the balls fly out. And we eventually get up there, and we made a deal on the way when we were up there between each other, a silent, like a brotherly bond. We knew what we were going to do. So I'm Team Peanut Butter, and he's Team Chocolate. I go up there with my cape. He's like, what's your name? Where are you from? I'm like, I'm the Chronic Cowboy. And I do, like, finger guns.
The Chronic Cowboy.
And then he was like, 3, 2, 1, go. And on the go, me and Zach both dabbed, and then went down into the pit. And then...
I saw this kid dabbing on CBS News the other day. Also... if someone asked me, like, hey, who are you? I'd say, I'm Captain Tismo.
The Chronic Cowboy is just so good. Because it was the finger guns, by bang, bang.
I heard Captain Tismo the other day, and I just wanted to tell you. I thought it was the funniest fucking name I've ever heard. Captain Tismo, boy wonder.
Well, I mean, it's literally me. But we go in there, and I get the thing first. I swap to a lady. And she's like, all right, he's like, all right, cowboy, you're going to be playing for an Xbox One controller. And I'm like, I'm going to sandbag the shit out of this and hope my brother gets something good. And so I'm like zooming past the ball, knocking it to the other goal. Zach didn't know what I got. And so he's literally like throwing the balls on top of me, trying to bury me in there. So I have to stop playing. Like dig myself out of this pit so I can keep playing. And then Zach, he got his thing, and he was going to win a PS4 controller, and he fucking scores a goal in 4 seconds. And then we stole some more monsters from the World of Tanks booth. And we went to the Paramount Theater, and they had a whole Magic the Gathering thing for the new set, Kaladesh, which is like India. So there was a designated street. So they had they had fancy Arabian and Indian themed like tents set up to play Magic. They had a live DJ who was the shittiest I have ever heard. It was literally just like a song. The
shittiest I've ever heard.
And then like a Mario coin song or like sound effects. Boo ba-doo, boo ba-doo, boo-doo-doo-doo-doo, ba-ding. And I was like that for like 15 minutes. I'm like, yeah, Zach, this shit is fire.
Your fire making skills now 99.
But they showed off like a bunch of new cards and shit, and you could go inside there and you could play booster draft, like $20. Here's $24 worth of cards. They give you a bunch of cards, and then if you won, you got 4 points. If you lost, you got 2. You could exchange those for prizes. Like, worst case scenario, you pay $20 to get 6 booster packs, which is pretty good. Then we went to the Mankind Divided panel, and they had the people up there talking about, mostly talking about the new DLC that's going to be announced, and it was Pritchard comes back.
Oh boy.
You have to break into a like a data bank thing. And the voice actor for Adam Jensen, Elias Tefexis, he was telling a story where he got a pizza delivered to his house that he didn't order, and he was like, "What's this? It's a large pepperoni. I never." And he had to stop himself. He had to stop himself from saying, "I never asked for this." But that panel was pretty cool. I think that DLC comes out like November.
I still gotta get Mankind Divided.
It's pretty good. Then we went to we scheduled the PlayStation VR stuff. We go over there, and there's like Psychonauts, Batman, Wayward Skye, which is a point and click, Robot Combat League, and then like a first person shooter. And we're like, oh man, oh sweet, I can't wait to play Batman VR. Oh no, you can't choose which one you get. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. And so I get up there, and like Zach's like, all right, here, you get to play Mechanized Combat League. And he's like, all right, whatever.
He's like, oh.
And then I'm like, sweet, there's 2 people leaving the Batman one. Yes, you get to play Wayward Skye. Oh. Wayward Skye was all right. It's like a point and click adventure game, where you like it's like a diagram. You can look, lean in your little stool over it, and like you had the move controllers, which are like 2 little sticks, and you can point and do shit. Mm-hmm. And I beat the demo in like 5 minutes because I've played video games before. Apparently, everyone who went to that booth just sucked because I beat it faster than anyone he's seen. And then Zach got the high score in that robot game, and it was his first time playing. Because the robot game was like Mecha Combat League was an action game, and I was like, oh man, I really wish I got Batman VR. And the dude in the like exhibitor was like, actually, it's pretty short. It's basically just, here's how you turn on detective vision. You like move the controller up to your like face, then you press the button like you're tapping the side of the helm or whatever. And then here's how I throw my batarangs. You like flick it. Here's how I shoot my grappling hook. Okay, demo's over. So then we went over to the Indie Mega booth, and I checked out Yick, which is the most pretentious RPG. It's the closest thing to Paper Mario that I'm going to get for a long, long while. But it was pretty cool. I liked it. It's like, it's called Yick, the postmodern RPG. So it's like a overworld you run around, you get into combat, and it's action commands. Like a dude, you have to like, he has like a record spinning, and then you tap it on like the parts of the record. And there's a girl who had a guitar, like you hold the control stick down like the hammer in Paper Mario. Mm-hmm. Or her special like damage move was like it starts a mini game of like Mario 2. And there's like an enemy you can go pick up a box and throw it on it and shit. Mm-hmm. And there was like a samurai guy who I could not figure out how to do his special. But it was alright. Then as we were about to leave to go to the Magic the Gathering, we were going to go to the theater and play Magic for a bit. There was a Rock Band Rivals set up. And all I hear is, wake. I'm like, Zach, hold on. Wake me up inside. And there was just 3 fucking total nerdos. So, I mean, I'm wearing a cape, but they were just up there. Like, there was someone singing, someone playing the drums, and someone, like, playing the guitar, like, this dead face, just playing Wake Me Up Inside. But yeah, that was Saturday. Then we played Magic for a bit. We were just playing cards, and like one of the dudes came by and was like, "Hey guys, you just playing cards? Now you're playing for this."
Hey guys, hanging out. Yes.
He's like, "Here you go," and he gives us like an Eternal Masters pack. Like, now you guys are playing for this, which is like a $12 booster pack.
I mean, hey man, it's something to play for.
Sunday, hoo boy.
Whew.
So Sunday was a NVIDIA panel early in the morning, and I could not give less of a fuck about NVIDIA, but I want free shit. And so we go like 3 blocks away to like the Opera House where NVIDIA was doing their thing. And we're waiting in line, and then this homeless guy walks across the other side of the street. We're all looking at him like, oh, what's he doing? What's he doing? And then he starts lighting off fireworks. It's just like this guy who's like, he's like bouncing around, and he just looks around, looks left, looks right, reaches into his pocket. I was afraid he was going to pull a fucking gun. And he pulls out a thing of firecrackers, and he just lights them. He throws them into the alley and runs away. I got a video of it on my phone where I called him Damaged, like Jared Leto's the Joker.
Mom's gonna freak.
There's a dude right in front of us in Jack cosplay from Jack and Daxter. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And so we go in there and they're showing off Ansel, if you know what that is.
No, remind me.
You can take 30 gig screenshots. You can just pause the game, and then you can take a super, super, super high resolution screenshot, and then you can look at it like, you know, in 360 degrees. You can go around and look at everything from that point of view. And it was really cool. They had a setup with it with the Vive, and like it was on like the HTC booth or something. I could put it on. You can only use it in like Arc, The Witcher 3, and then 2 other games. But it's like if you do it in The Witcher, and there's a bookcase in the background, you could zoom all the way in and read that book, no matter where you were. That's how high resolution the screenshot is. 30 gigs. It's pretty big. But they like, if you were in the front row, they gave away like 7 goddamn graphics cards to everyone in there because they didn't want to walk down. And there was like people in the wings, like on the 3rd floor and shit. And the dude just takes like an $800 graphics card and just whips it up the fucking 3 flights of stairs and gives it to someone. And they did a drawing, like a raffle for a GTX Titan, which is a like over $1,000 graphics card. And they're reading off. I can see my brother. He's like, "Oh, whew, whew, whew," and he gets the last number, and it's 1 higher, which was the dude right in front of us in the Jack costume. My brother's like, "Are you serious?" And he started kicking the seat in front of him. He's like, "I hate you. I am so mad." He just, God damn.
And then he never played Jack ever again.
But he was 1 number off. Oh, some funny shit. So we're like, all right. Now, do we want to eat? We're like, okay, after that shit show, I'm glad I wasted 2 hours of my time and didn't win shit. We're like, all right, let's go get some McDonald's. And we go down like the street, and there's some McDonald's there. And I'm like, whoa, this is actually normal price. Holy shit. And like, we hear this sound. We're like, what's that sound? Oh, there's a conveyor belt going up the wall. And we were mystified, and we just see this old Mexican lady come up, take the bag, put it on there, and it just goes up around the fucking building. And there's a walk-up window on the other side of the building. You can just walk up and get McDonald's. There's your $12 an hour, Seattle. Then I went to the Adult Swim games section on like the 6th floor. They had the Rick and Morty VR. Literally couldn't play that because the line was capped. The line to play the game, I couldn't even wait in line, which I would have done because I wanted to play Rick and Morty VR.
Rick and Morty VR.
Yeah, you can play with the dingle schwamps and all that. And you can jump through the portal, and it's really cool. But I don't know. I wouldn't know. I get to play Duck Game. It had an update. I fucking destroyed a bunch of kids.
You sure showed them, sir.
Like, I'm like, oh, you guys playing Duck Game? I put on the Astropal hat, which was the smuggest hat. And I fucking destroyed him. I killed those fucking nerds.
Did you fucking whip out the suicide gun slide strats and kill them with the suicide gun like you killed me? Yes, actually. Oh, God. Fuck off.
But the new update has, like, ice slopes and shit. Like, you can go swoop, like in a U, and it'll get thrown in whatever guns and shit you throw in there. There's ice levels, and there's a whole bunch of new stuff. And then, like, I played, they had a few other Adult Swim games there. They had, like, this, Too Deep for You, like, platformer thing. Where you have, like, this little white rat thing, and you don't have any attacks. But there's, like, a whole bunch of spooky enemies. And you gotta find somewhere safe before it starts raining really hard. And I broke that game. And I had to have the developer go over and enter in dev mode so I could get out of the pipe. But after that, we went. We're like, okay, the lines are so goddamn bad here. We can't do anything unless we wait 7 hours in line. So fuck this. Let's check out the console free play room. And so we like go over and there's like old like retro consoles. They had like super old ones like the Amiga and shit. And we're like, okay, what's the oldest console that we know of? Xbox. And so we played Sneak King on the Xbox for about 45 minutes.
You mean that Burger King thing?
Yep, we played the Burger King game.
But why was that there?
They had everything there. And we chose to play Sneak King.
I went all the way to PAX to play fucking Burger King and sneak around.
Okay, but here was the best part of that day. Okay, no, I'm wrong because Sunday was the Dishonored 2 event. But before we left, we went to the PCMR panel, which stood for PC Master Race. And what it was just a bunch of fart sounds followed by... Oh, that's good. It was two Reddit mods jerking each other off and sniffing their own farts for 40 minutes. They introduced themselves by like, yeah, we're the mods of our PC Master Race. And it was one of two things in the entire convention that smelled like ass. It was that panel and the Magic the Gathering Hall. Those are the only places that smelled like shit.
What about the Way Forward one?
Oh yeah, okay, the Way Forward, they didn't have a booth. They had a tiny-ass room for Nintendo indie games, and their line, like, went to the door. And I'm like, oh, cool, I'm going to check out. Oh, never mind, this stinks, I'm going to leave. But they were like, they go in there, and just a bunch of fart sounds followed by deep inhales. Like, yeah, we're, This is. I wrote this verbatim while I was there on my phone, trying not to laugh. We are watchdogging against shady marketing and business practice by AAA studios. we help prevent consumers from making bad decisions and show the world the travesties committed against us by AAA devs. And they started talking about like, yeah, you know Arkham Knight? Yeah, the reason why people didn't buy that was because of us, because us glorious PC Master Race, and not the fact that it had super negative reviews on Steam. It was entirely us. Just, oh, it's good. But okay, this was my favorite thing. This is my favorite thing about the PC Master Race panel. They're like, yeah, you know, a lot of celebrities use our subreddit. You know, Terry Crews, his son wanted to build a computer. And so, you know, first he goes to Best Buy, and they're able to help him for a bit. And then he goes, you know, on Facebook. And then, you know, people help him out on Facebook.
And that's it?
And that was it. That was it. It had literally nothing to do with their shitty subreddit or anything. Just, yeah, you know, Terry Crews' son made a gaming PC. So, you know, we're kind of a big deal. Legitimately, after 30 minutes, I'm like, Zach, let's get the fuck out of here. I cannot stand this smell. And then we just got up and left the panel. And then, like, the PAX enforcer, we both shared this look of, like, are you serious? And then I just busted a gut laughing as we walked all the way out to the fucking Dishonored 2 event. I was like, oh my god, these fucking losers.
These fucking memers.
It was so bad.
It was a stereotype right there.
They were handing out flyers all day of like, you know, these really old-timey looking posters that are like, Duke Luca Abel welcomes you to the Wharf of Karnaca for a Dishonored 2 event. And we're like, oh cool, all right, let's walk down down like 4 streets to get to the thing way at the end of the dock. And we ended up walking with a developer for Bandai Namco Vancouver, who like their mobile division. He made like the what's that game where you roll shit up into a ball?
Katamari Damacy?
Yeah, he made the Katamari Damacy thing, and I asked him, he's like, yeah, we're working on a game we can't talk about it. So I'm like, so you're basically saying it's Deus Ex, or Deus Ex, you're making Dark Souls go? He's like, yeah, but you can't tell anyone. We're making Dark Souls go. If you die in the game, you die for real life. But we were talking with him for a while. We talked about magic and shit. And we talked with a guy in line who had a Sea of Thieves shirt on, and he was on the Rare team, and he works on that game. And he was like, yeah, Xbox didn't show it off. We don't know why. It was just, like, Xbox's booth was just Battlefield 1 and Gears of War.
Huh.
But he was talking about how they've been making really good progress on that game and everything. And after about like the line, so we got in the line. There was like a real fancy dock, and then there was a line, and we got in there like, oh, this is kind of a long line, and this was like 30 minutes before it started. The event started. It was from 7 to 11. By the time the event opened, the line was 2 miles long.
Oh my god! For what again?
For the Dishonored 2 Wharf of Karnaca event. And so here's what it was. And this was... I lost my shit. This was so cool. So you go on there, and then there's, like, actors. Like, playing as NPCs. Like, we go onto the thing, and they gave us, like, a ticket, and it had, like, 2 free drinks, free food, and a free shirt. And they had, like, this brown sugar Karnacan popcorn that they had everywhere that people could eat for free. And I thought, like, oh, okay, whatever, that's probably the food. No one's taking my ticket. So, like, Zach was walking across the dock, and he almost fell. And then a dude dressed up as a guard walks by and says, blood flies aren't the only things to be wary of on the docks tonight. And I lost my shit. So I'm like, that's something an NPC would say. Holy fuck. I lost my goddamn mind. There were people dressed as, like, overseers with, like, gold masks and shit everywhere. Dude. I lost my goddamn mind. It was so cool.
Continue.
And there was, like, people playing cards. Like there was a lady sitting on at a table with a few people, and she was playing, like, cards and shit. And they're like, you can talk to them about Karnaca, what it's about, talk about the Baron and all that. Mm-hmm. And I noticed that when someone won a game of War, which is what they were basically playing War, they called it something else. Mm-hmm. She like took that person to the side and started whispering to them about something. I'm like, oh, something's up here, something's going on. And so, because that was crowded, I went and I got myself a glass of like Karnacan ale, which is really, really strong beer. It was pretty good. I used they had Karnacan ale, which is what I got, and then they had like 2 different types of wine, and then they had foreign drinks, which was like cans of Coke. I thought it was cute. Like I talked to a lady who was working on a boat, and she was talking about the Baron and the blood flies, and she mentioned like, oh, you might want to talk to one of the sea captains over, because there was like 3 boats like parked that had like some stuff on them. Like the dock was mostly like, because I think this all took place in like the wooden boat museum thing, and so they were just like boats, and you could just go on and you can look around and shit.
Yeah, all right.
But like as you got closer to the actual building that they own, like there was a blood fly nest, and there was a dude like putting glue on like this wall, like this wooden wall, and like putting up posters of the Baron and stuff. And we talked to him, and he's like, yeah, you should check out the captain of the Luca boat. And so, like, we go on that boat, we talk to there was, like, a dude over there, we were playing cards, and I won a game. And he's like, we're chatting with him, like, or no, before we got on the boat, the Baron walked by. And my brother said hello to him. He's like, hello. And your name? Zachary. Zachary, where are you from? He's like, St. Louis. He's like, I'm sure you slaughtered many people to get here. He's like, yeah, it's pretty rough. I make you an honorary member of the guard and shit like that. And it was really, he had like 2 people, he had like 2 guards with him. And he was just dressed all super fancy and all that, and you could approach him and talk to people. And they had like people cooking up food, like they had
so it was like that fucking like that pirate themed medieval times restaurant I went to or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, it was a lot like that. And like, I won the card game, and then we started going along like, oh, we have to hop to this boat now. And then after we talked to him, we have to go back to this boat and go upstairs in a secret compartment to find the captain. And like, we did all this, and eventually we hit a stone wall. Because you could do this whole event without talking to these people, and you wouldn't know anything's going on. Mm-hmm. You're just like, oh, cool, I got my free shirt, I got my photo, I got my, I got my drinks, I got my food, cool. This was a neat event. I'm going to go see, like, at 9 o'clock and 9:45, they had, like, a gameplay demo. And, like, we hit a point where I was playing cards with this lady, and she was like, you need to find, something written on the walls, some kind of elixir. And I'm like, okay, cool, I'm going to go on this boat. And then I went to the captain, and I skipped ahead a little bit, because there was a group of people already in there, and I just kind of swoosed in. And they said, like, I needed to go get a cup and a silver die. I needed to use those 2 to, go on. And then I found out they were out of those things. They didn't have any cups or dies left. Because they only had 20. And so eventually I was like, oh, well, I told Zach, I'm like, well, I think we're done here. I also wanted to like go to the bathroom really, really bad, but I didn't want to ask any of the people who were like in character. Like, welcome to Karnataka. How are you?
Where's the shitter?
I gotta go. I gotta take a piss. Where's the bathroom? I didn't want to do that.
I gotta go bleed the lizard, or whatever the fuck you Karnakians say. Where the fuck's the bathroom?
But I found out later that for the first 20 people that figured this out, they got a Dishonored themed PS4 or Xbox One.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but then we went and they were screen printing shirts and everything. And we got our drinks, and it was a really, really cool event. We missed the gameplay thing because we were too busy in the ARG. The ARG.
The
Augmented
ARG.
reality game. Like, one of the snags I got hit was they didn't expect so many goddamn people. And you can only have so many on the boat.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I need to go on this boat, get off it because I missed something in the other boat. You know, back and forth, back and forth. Oh, now I have to wait in line for all these drunks to get the goddamn drinks on these boats instead of on the pier like normal people. And so it's like, oh, well, it's already goddamn 9:30. I'm not going to be able to finish this. And then I found out like I couldn't anyway. But it was really, really, really cool.
It sounds really cool.
But then Monday was the last day. That was all on Sunday, the PC Master Race and all that. That was all. But Monday, we thought like, okay, finally, you know, the lines are going to die down a bit. Woo boy. Woo boy.
Whoa.
They were just as bad. We played some Dead by Daylight, which was, it's like 4 people play as like survivors in a summer camp.
Yeah, I know.
I got a photo with them. I'm doing like the Emperor Jing from Mulan thing where I'm shaking his hand and pointing at him.
Oh, ha!
We walked past the Sega booth where they had Sonic Mania and Dawn of War 3. And apparently there were 2 dudes that just got in a line in Dawn of War 3 as soon as they, like, you would play for a while and then they kick you out and let you go back.
Uh-huh.
And they did it so much that they were just like, all right, you know what? Here, you guys could just play the entirety of Dawn of War 3. You've gotten into line like 4 times for it, so just play through the entire game. And I just let them sit there in the back corner and play through the entire thing.
Wow.
But, you know, we walked around, yeah, they beat the game.
Oh, shit.
And then we went to the VR or VAren't panel, which was terrible ideas for VR games.
Huh. I would have liked that.
And they had my suggestion, because I noticed it when I was playing Alice VR, is that they have like a cord. Like, okay, my game is Tornado Simulator. You gotta spin around and spin around and spin around and try not to trip over the cord and break your teeth. And then if you hit a propane tank, you become a fire tornado, and you gotta spin the other way. You can go twice as fast. The winning terrible ideas was table tennis, but it switches like the camera angle changes by 1 degree every 6 seconds. And so by the end of like a minute, you're slowly tilting to the side more and more and more. Then one where your neck and your arms get progressively longer and longer over the period of 30 minutes so you don't notice it. Which is really disorienting because remember, it keeps track of like your arms and your hands and everything. So you're just like, oh, jeez. And then surgery simulator, where you are the patient and you're just lying on a table and you can see someone operating on you. So after this, we're like, okay, I don't want to spend $10 on Mark and Luke Pizza Jam, so let's go to McDonald's again. And I shit you not, right as we arrive there, who do we see leaving that McDonald's? The homeless fireworks man.
Oh shit, he's back.
He was all twitchy, he had his arm in his jacket. I'm just like, let him through. I don't want to be near him. Let him go light off fireworks in peace. So then most of the panels that they had left were like really garbage ones. On Sunday, unfortunately, because I went to the Saturday, the Reese's Puff Pit, I missed the Duck Game devs versus players thing, which I really wanted to go to because you had to sign up early in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And instead, we just went in there to watch Reese's Puffs and win a PS4 controller. But so then we went to the other free play rooms because there was classic, there was handheld, PC, and then like modern free play. We went over there, we played Mankind Divided, and we just went over, we kept punching people in the throat because the non-lethal is just jab them right in the neck. We did that for about 40 minutes. And then the cookie lady was back, and she had pyrovision goggles and a ghastly gibbous.
Heh.
Well, then we left the convention center about 6. The bus pulls up, and then just fucking leaves. She just pulls over, doesn't open the door, and then just leaves everyone.
Fuck you too, lady.
And then the second bus shows up, and because this is Seattle, everything's like, it's like clean energy, and it was like electricity buses. And then its connection to like the wires overhead just kind of fell in the middle of an intersection. And so we just watch from afar as this lady, this really like 4 foot tall lady, comes out with like a big broomstick and puts it back on the wires.
I'm just picturing it. like I imagine it like a cartoon, like some like you know, like the Pixar startup where the robot comes up and like tinkers with the fucking like THX like sign or something.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was.
That's how the fucking thing works.
Pretty much. But that's not all.
Continue.
So eventually we get on, we get a bus ticket, and we go back to our Airbnb, which was way too nice. It had a fucking heat lamp in the bathroom. I was like a Circle K hot dog. It was super cool. And we get our bags and everything, and then we leave, and we get back to because it's like the thing starts at like 11 is when our plane leaves, and so we're waiting in line, and then it turns out the people in front of their line were 2 writers for Cards Against Humanity.
Oh shit.
And they're like, everyone's like, yeah, this flight blows ass. And so they're like, all right, everyone, they're like, hey, if you guys want to make this any less shitty, we have these reject packs, which are like cards for people around the office that they didn't think were good enough, and they got like little doodles on them and shit. And they're like, yeah, they're worth like $100 on eBay and shit. And so we all got those, and we all posed for a photo saying, Frontier Airlines sucks, Cards Against Humanity rules.
That's awesome.
And then we eventually got on the plane, and it was hellish. It was just hell on earth for about 3.5 hours. And we got back to Illinois, got in the car, and drove home, and almost got into a car crash because Zach's like, oh shit, Dunkin' Donuts, and pulled 3 lanes over.
Oh shit, Dunkin' Donuts. It's like when I was driving with our old neighbor Dean when we still lived in Illinois. He went to go take me somewhere, and he's old and he has a handicap like thing, right? Kind of like how my grandpa Greg does. So he fucking just drives over like one of those intersection sidewalk things to cross over to the next like lane, like the next side of the road. I'm like, Jesus Christ, can you do this? He's like, yeah, I'm handicapped. They'll let me do it.
Oh, but yeah, that was PAX. Overall, I would say next year, if I do it again, I'm not going to buy 4 days, because we were pretty much burnt out after the first 2. Because you can't do everything.
Yeah.
You'll run yourself goddamn ragged. Next time, I'm going to like look and see if there's any crazy parties. Like the Dishonored thing or the Magic thing.
Like some crazy Homestuck-themed orgies.
They had, there was an Undertale thing. Did you hear about that? The Undertale cuddle pile?
No, I thought you were going to say the Undertale orgy, because that's what I was referencing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what it was called.
Oh, fuck! I know there was an 8 years ago from one of those Joe Goes, but there was an MLP orgy where a crab infestation broke out for all the participants. So yeah, don't go to those, Tad.
Oh man, I'll have to change my 2016 convention run to promote this podcast.
The Undertale fucking.
Use your words, Alex.
Okay. I remember seeing a picture of an ad for the Undertale themed orgy for cosplayers. Non-cosplayer participants are free to watch, and be respectful because there will be a lot of first timers there. Smiley face. Smiley face is what I call the smiley face with a nose, by the way. Overall, it was worth it. Pretty great convention. God damn it! I fucking. just go to the fucking orgy.
I'll just show up as in my Night of Doom cosplay, and they'll fucking spear tackle me and beat the shit out of me.
Spear tackle and beat the shit out of me. No home cucks allowed.